What's going on, you guys? It's Toby's Talk Show, and today we are back talking about the crazy day that was the NBA draft yesterday, and all that comes with it, like the trades, etc. And we'll be talking about most of the draft picks, giving them a grade or just analyze them. So I don't want this video to be too long. Let's jump right into it. So let's start with the Westbrook trade. I think it's a little overhyped. Obviously, this is big for the Lakers because you're getting a third star. But a big question mark for me is going to see if they can get shooting on this team because right now LeBron James is their best three-point shooter. And if LeBron James is your best three-point shooter, you're in trouble. If we're just being honest, right? LeBron's not a great three-point shooter. Davis is not a knockdown three-point shooter. And obviously Westbrook is the worst volume shooter of all time. So you need shooting there. And the Lakers don't have money to sign guys like Davis, or like to trade or sign for guys like Davis Bertans maybe, or someone cheaper. I don't know. But the Lakers, I don't know who they're going to sign. That's a great shooter. Maybe, like a Bryn Forbes, if they could somehow get that, or something like that. But they need someone like that to, really elevate the team so that they are truly, the number one or number two favorite. Even though they probably are for some people already with Westbrook. But I think Westbrook, for the Wizards side, I think they're going to keep Beal. It seems like what the reports Beal is going to say, at least for now. I think it's kind of like, all right, Beal, we now have more flexibility for you. You could choose what you want like us to do. Do you want us to go after, blah, 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 blah. You like this guy. But now we have more flexibility instead of just saying, all right, we have you and Russ, and we could like sign one small guy and try to run it back, right? You don't give Beal false hope if he is going to stay. And I think that's what they're doing. For the Lakers side, I think it's interesting. I think Buddy Hield would have been a better fit. Buddy Hield's obviously one of the best three-point shooters in the league right now. And like I said, they need three-point shooting, especially when you're trading Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I don't like him, but his three-point shooting does help. But I think Buddy Hield, and this will be a debate until, even after the Lakers win or lose next season. Was it smart to trade for talent in Westbrook or trade for the fit in Beal? And we'll see what happens. I think it probably would have made a little more sense to trade for Buddy Hield. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers ran through the whole NBA and won a championship next year, just because you have three top 25 players in the league. So yeah. I get it for the Lakers. I think it's a little bit of a risk. You never three big. It's Westbrook. He'll play with a lot of heart, a lot of heart. He'll give it his all every night, which could be an issue. I don't know. But it seems like they talked about it. LeBron, AD, and Westbrook at a house supposedly 2 weeks ago. So it seems like they're on the same page. I think for the Lakers to really win the steal, they really need shooting. But obviously, getting a talent like that at the point guard position is great. And for the Wizards, I understand that Kuzma could still turn to something. He's 25. We saw what he did his first year. He could still tap into that, especially with a bigger role. The first is nice. They traded that for Aaron Holiday and another pick. And then, Harrell and KCP are kind of throw-ins. So it's a solid package for Westbrook. If you think about what the Wizards gave up to get him, it was a first and John Wall. So they kind of, got a year Westbrook and didn't really lose much at the end of the day. So good for them. Here we go. So if I had to give grades, I guess, for that trade, I'd say B plus Lakers, again, depending on what happens with free agency, and B, I'd say B plus for the Wizards. I think the Lakers are winning the trade, or going to win the trade just because you're getting a star, but the Wizards, I think, didn't get a bad package at all. All right, let's jump into this. So Cunningham, obvious. Jalen Green, obvious. Mobley, obvious. The first surprise of the night was Scottie Barnes with the fourth pick from the Toronto Raptors. It was rumored a lot, especially by Jonathan Wasserman, that the Raptors were very interested in Scottie Barnes, but it seemed like it was a lock for Jalen Green just because Lowry's going to leave, and they needed a guard, and Suggs is that guy, and he has star potential. But I remember reading something. I think it was either by Kevin O'Connor or Jonathan Wasserman. I'm sorry if it wasn't either of them, but what they were saying was, the Raptors front office, they have, the wiggle room to take a big risk like that, and they did just that. If it doesn't pan out, it's not like Ujiri's going to get fired, one of the best front office members in the league. And also, a lot of people like Scottie Barnes for his, his length and defense and offensive potential. So, I mean, it's a surprise. I think it could work out for them. I just think they needed a guard. I don't know what you're going to do with now OG, him, and Siakam. Are you going to take him off the bench? I guess so. But I think it could get a little clunky in there forward-wise. But I understand why, because you could see he has a very high ceiling potential. All right, Jalen Suggs to 5. I mean, that's obvious after good for the Magic. It's great for them. Very happy for them. The Scottie Barnes like, oh, okay, and then the Josh Giddey pick at 6 by the Thunder was like, oh, okay, like now we're starting. Crazy pick. Did not expect that at all. I was freaking out. I'm still at camp. It's my actual last day at camp. I'm a counselor, but I was freaking out. My kids were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was trying to explain that they didn't get it. But Josh Giddey, absolute insane, surprising pick. A lot of people like him. A lot of people hate him. It's what you're going to get with European players. A lot of people think he's a top 5 player. Some people think he's going to be a top 25 player in the draft, obviously. And so, it's tough with these Euro guys. Josh Giddey, I think if he could turn into something, him and SGA could be a dirty, dirty backcourt for years to come. Let's see. I don't want to talk about each and every one just because I don't want to make this video 80 hours. Franz Wagner, I think it's a good pick. Him and Jalen Suggs, I think the Magic got a nice win in the draft. Davion Mitchell, I think it's just interesting. What are the Kings going to do with guards? You're not putting Tyrese at the 3, really. I don't like it, at least. I don't love it. I understand why Davion Mitchell is a great player, and he'll be great for the Kings. And obviously, you want, best players, but I felt like you could have gone a different route. But I get it. I just don't understand how they're going to start all of them. All right, Zaire Williams, that was a surprise. I mean, I trust the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies have had the best drafts if you accumulate the last 5 years. They have Tillman, Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Desmond Bane, DeAnthony Melton. I don't know if I'm missing any big ones. Tyus Jones, I believe. Tyus Jones was drafted, but I think so. For the last 5 years, they got all those players. Some like Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant early, but then some like Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark later. So if it's anyone I trust, it's the Grizzlies. But Zaire Williams, he's a reach there. He has a lot of potential. A lot of he's very raw. We got to see what happens. Joshua Primo was a surprise, but as we know, the Spurs are one of the best franchises of all time, especially with scouting. So I think we're all kind of giving them a break and saying, all right, we'll see what happens. I like the Sengun pick to the Rockets. I think if he gets better defensively, he'll be a very, very good center in this league. But he has to, or else he will not be able to play in playoff situations. Trey Murphy, great pick for the Pels. Corey Kispert, I like it for them. The Warriors won this draft. I think so. Kuminga, Moses Moody. We knew Kuminga was going to fall a little bit. He fell to 7. I think it's not the best position for Kuminga being there and having to kind of be the backup. And, he's not going to get that many minutes, and he kind of needs those to get, he's raw also. But for the Warriors, great talent there. The Knicks traded 38 times during this draft. Let's see, what else do I like? Thunder draft Trey Mann. Maybe they're going to go with the 3-point guard lineup again when they had SGA, Schroeder, and Chris Paul, with now Trey Mann, Giddey, and Shea. That'd be interesting. Kai Jones, the Hornets had a very nice draft. The fact that they got somehow not Moses Moody. They somehow got James Bouknight at 11. I wish the Knicks traded up for him. And and Kai Jones, who could be an absolute stud in this league. That's a W. And then I think the only other thing I really want to talk about is, the Hawks had a great draft also. For drafting 20 and 47, I believe, 48, and getting Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper, can you really ask for much better? And then, the Knicks, they drafted Miles McBride with 36. I think that was a great pick for them. I think a lot of Knicks fans were freaking out. Why are you not drafting a point guard? What are you doing? They got their guy. 15 spots later, they had the 21st pick. It seemed like they were going to get him there. And no. Isaiah Livers goes back to Michigan, which is dope for him. He goes to Detroit. And Ayu Dosunmu does the same thing, going back to Illinois. And is that really it? I don't want to talk about every single pick like I said. Luka Garza goes to the Pistons. That's pretty cool. Yeah, guys, that's really it. JT Thor, good pick by the Pistons also, but he's now traded the Hornets. Oh, shoot, the Hornets got 3 studs. Good for them. And yeah, guys, that's really it. Sharif Cooper, I don't know why he fell so far. I'll be interested to see about that. But again, I don't want to make the video too long. I'm going to go. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you guys enjoyed the draft. That was a lot of fun. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.